What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel where I teach you everything you need to know about accounting, audit, personal finance, the CPA lifestyle, and everything in between. If that sounds awesome to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button below, and welcome to the accounting channel. All right, guys, today I'm going to go over a question I got from a subscriber, and that is, what CPA exam course do I recommend? So the question goes like this. What CPA exam course review program do you recommend? I know there's quite a few out there: Becker, Rogers CPA, Wiley, etc. Okay, so I feel like I get this question so often, and you know, I don't want to complicate this question more than it needs to be. So I'm going to give you my background and then kind of what I think. So I always recommend Becker because it's obviously the one I used, and I would never recommend something that I didn't personally use myself and I haven't seen the benefits of. And I think Becker, and I don't want to make this video like I'm trying to sell you Becker course, you know, but I, for example, benefited greatly from it. I passed all 4 exams on the first try. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was extremely hard still, but I feel like the Becker material gave me enough to where I didn't feel like anything on the exam. They really, everything I was asked, they pretty much covered. Obviously, there was a few questions here and there that I just didn't remember the answer, or there are certain things that maybe I didn't get clear enough on the Becker material. But I'd say 80 to 90% of the questions I got on the CPA exam, all 4 of them, Becker was properly equipped me with what I needed to pass. I mean, obviously I passed all 4 sections of the exam, but I feel like whether you go with Roger, Wiley, so many people have passed using, you know, any of the more, you know, popular programs. And I feel like as long as someone has passed with just using one of them, I feel like it's good enough to get you through the exam. And I hate to make this video more so like theoretical, but you know, sometimes I feel like it's not so much about the material. Obviously, you can use a really, really crap program that like Joe Schmo came up with that no one has used. Obviously, but if you use any of the popular ones like Roger CPA, Becker, Wiley, so many people have passed using these programs, even Ninja CPA, which I highly recommend any supplemental information you want to get. Like I use Ninja Audio and Ninja Notes. I feel like that really helped me solidify a lot of my understanding that I when it came to the CPA exam. But for the most part, I think more so than the material, I think it's on you. I think you are the biggest factor in this. Obviously, again, if you use a material that's really popular and well known and a lot of people have already passed with it, you know that the material at least covers enough for people to pass with it. Now the biggest factor in you passing is going to be you, your dedication, your schedule, and how you come about this exam. But for the most part, I think it really doesn't matter what review course you end up using. Again, I used Becker and I thought it was great, but a thing that I had going for me was that I actually had Becker paid for. So what ends up happening a lot of times too, if you end up going to like any top 10 firm, whether it's, you know, Deloitte or I don't know, I think Markham or BDO or Grant Thornton or RSM or, you know, any of the top 10 firms, they typically have partnerships with Becker whereby the associates get free CPA exam review courses. So, but again, I know that's not the case for a lot of people that don't maybe end up going to these public accounting firms, and maybe you end up working at a company or you end up going to a much smaller firm. So the first thing I would do is wherever you work at, ask if they will sponsor your review course. Again, I'm going to recommend Becker, but I think Roger or Wiley is good enough. But if money is not an issue, I think Becker is going to be the best bang for your buck. And the first thing I would do, even if maybe you don't work at one of the big public accounting firms, I would highly recommend you ask your manager or your boss or whoever if they can somehow sponsor your review course. That'd be such a big benefit. And I know even some smaller firms end up sponsoring or end up paying for the review course because obviously they want their younger employees to, you know, get licensed and continue to help the company. So they see it kind of as an ROI on their behalf. So that's the first thing. If money is not an issue, definitely go with Becker and end up and ask your employer or ask your boss or ask anyone at your company if they can somehow sponsor. Maybe they won't pay for all of it, but maybe half of it, a quarter, just to lower that overall price that Becker has. Because I do know the Becker exam review course, it's probably one of the most, if not most pricey ones in the market. And I think just because of the reputation they built with the firms and pretty much everyone at a large public accounting firm using them to pass the CPA exam, I think the, you know, the material I get they have, I thought it was great. Again, a lot of it, I don't care how good your review course is. If you don't put in the time, if you don't put in the effort, if you don't have the discipline to pass, then I don't care what. You can use the best review course out there, but it's not really going to matter if you don't put in the time. But again, if money is not an issue and somehow your company can sponsor the program for you, I think Becker is probably going to be your best bet. Again, I don't want to make this out like I'm trying to sell you on the Becker exam review course. I think at the end of the day, any program, but again, if money is an issue, then maybe try to go the most cost-effective way. Still going with a program that has great reviews that people have used. If you can talk to anyone in your inner circle of accounting friends that you know that have used that course, speak to them and ask them how they did. Anything that's not Becker, obviously, maybe if it's Roger or Wiley. I know a ton of people that have passed the CPA exam with using these products because, maybe they wanted to get a cheaper course or money was an issue. So if maybe money's a little tight at the moment, because I know it can be very expensive for these review courses, then definitely going maybe the Roger or Wiley route's not going to be a detriment to your success. Because again, if other people, and a lot of people have passed with these review courses, it's sometimes not so much the review course, it's more so on the person. And sometimes I feel like people won't put in the time or they won't put in the effort or they're not disciplined enough to study for the exam. And then the easy person to blame is the review course, because obviously it's their fault that they didn't cover the topics that they, touched on my exam. And that can happen, right? But you want to put yourself in a position where you're disciplined enough, and regardless of the review course you use, obviously, again, if it's one that's well known, tried and true, there's a bunch of reviews and you hopefully know some people that have passed with that review course. I don't think it plays a huge role in your overall success, but if money's not an issue and they are going to sponsor it for you, I think Becker is going to be the best bang for your buck. Again, I personally used it, so I have no problem recommending that course for you because I feel like they covered everything I needed to know on the exam. It was, sometimes the lectures were kind of boring, but I think the material was, I try to make accounting and audit fun on this channel, and sometimes it's a little hard because, accounting and audit and tax and business law and IT, these topics can be a little dry, but I think Becker did a great job of explaining them and going through the different multiple choice questions and different simulations that I kind of encountered on the actual exam when I took it. But overall, I feel like if you can be dedicated enough to study and you have a great game plan, like I like to call on this channel exam mode, if you're dedicated enough, if you use any of the popular programs out there that people have already used and passed with, you're going to have no problem. So if money's not an issue, I think Becker's going to be the best bang for your buck. But if you're maybe looking for a more cost-effective program, I think Roger or Wiley is going to be, more than enough for you to pass. And just make sure if you can talk to anyone that used these programs, definitely get their feedback, see what they did. There's so many different message boards online where you can go ahead and ask and say, hey, has anyone used, Wiley? What was your testing? What was your approach to pass the exam? And see what they did, because, every review course is slightly different in a way, and obviously if you use Becker, I can definitely help you that way. But if you end up using any different review course, ask around, ask certain other people how they approach the exam. But at the end of the day, I think that the critical factor in passing this super tough exam is going to be you and your discipline and your motivation and your grit to be able to get through the days where you don't want to, where you just don't simply want to study. And I had so many of those days where honestly I just did not want to study, and I was kind of tired and just sick of the grind. And those are the days, and I think why I'm so passionate about the CPA exam and about my profession is that, it built me into the person that I am today. So hopefully, regardless of what review course you use, you end up having the discipline, the skill, and the fortitude to be able to get through it. And I promise you, if you put in the time, you put in the effort, and you put all your will into it, you will pass. Trust me on that. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the video today. If you found value in this video, please make sure to hit the like button below. Also, guys, don't forget to add me on any social media platform you use. Until next time, you know what it is. Work hard, dress well, peace.